if I just use Control L, that switches the default lighting off and it uses the lights that are in the scene. And if we right click on our view heading again, come down to configure, we've got lighting and shadows as part of this viewport configuration setup. So if we just go into lighting and shadows, we can auto display selected lights. We can switch that on. Provided that your machine's nice and quick, you can switch your viewport shading up so that it's a little bit more accurate. And then cast shadows for default lighting is a good one to have on as well, although you have to remember that it's default lighting, and when you go to render something, the default lighting isn't rendered. The default lighting is what Max uses to help light your scene when you haven't created any lights yet. So we'll just leave that off for now and we'll go OK. And what you'll see is that if I don't select any light at all, then it's completely black, which you might find useless because I can't see anything in the scene. But if you hit use Control L, that'll switch your default lighting back on and you can see everything in the scene. But if I just switch back, now when I switch on a light, it shows me what that light is lighting up and how it's falling on surfaces. And then I'd switch the other one on and it does the same. If I use both, if I use Control and select both, you can see I've got that hot spot in the center because it's showing me what both the lights are lighting up and the effect on the surfaces. It's a very, very handy tool, and if I just give that a quick render, you'll see that it's really quite accurate to what the lights are actually seeing. I don't have any shadows switched on at the moment, but you'll be able to set up your lighting so that it's a little bit more intuitive in that setup process. So that's a very good set of tips that you really should implement next time you're doing some lighting. So I'm just going to delete those lights now, and I'm going to very quickly, it's the world's fastest light rig setup, and it's probably not, it's probably the second fastest light rig setup, just to get myself out of trouble if someone's got one faster. And just going to go to a front view, which is what I'm sitting in here. And this is how I set up a very fast lighting scenario or a light rig. So just with the standard lights here, I'm just going to get a free direct, and I'm going to click in the front view, and that creates a light in the front view. And if I go to a top view, you'll see that it's created it right at the center here, which is world center. I'm going to drag it back until it's outside of all of the objects that I want illuminated. And I'm just going to open up just go into the light settings and just open up the hotspot a little bit,